preface it by saying that yesterday I didn't have a voice, so please just bear with me. Okay. Apple Kiss by Helen Dring. I saw her first in the mirror. The same old mirror my mother gave me as a child to count the 100 brush strokes of my hair. She was washing, her skin ivory against the sun, and her spine a perfect score down her back as she bent to rub soap into her knees. A dirty-kneed girl, a thrill in the watery glass. You're beautiful, my love. He crept behind me and snuck his arms around my waist and kissed the curve of my neck. I tilted with him, lifting the mirror above my head, craning to see. "Who's in the bathroom?" I asked. He was not my husband then, just a man I spent too much time with, a man who'd brought me into his home and allowed me to settle in. I didn't know he had a daughter. He was afraid, he said, of the words widower and stepmother, and of making me a fable. Later, I stroked his hair and I told him that I didn't mind his daughter, or being a fairy tale. She used to skim stones, the garden, a small country compared to any I'd seen before. It had a lake that stretched right out towards the corners of the woods, and she could crouch, pebble in hand, and I'd watch her fingers clenching and release in preparation, testing its weight, its thickness. And then the stone would fly across the water and into the trees, and she'd smile thinly. We drank tea sometimes, like old ladies, and whispered about her father's younger days. By the time we were married, I knew every little bend in his path, every indiscretion. And I knew his daughter. Wrong. It's a simple word, like black or white or easy. I thought I knew wrong before her. I thought I could see it coming and run the other way, but she crept in like damp spots, sneaking. It was my hair first. The way she brushed it, counting 100 the way my grandmother and mother did. And then she'd lift it very gently so that her fingers curled at my neck and her lips hovered at my ear, and then she'd kiss me, only softly, not like wrong at all. But there were other times when her hands and my skirts and her skin and my breath mixed lavender scent, and warm breath misted up the windows. Oh, I could have said wrong then, but it was beautiful and high and ecstasy, and I thought instead, and wrong had no place in our little haven. He was a good man. A good man, the three things I'd been seeking. He was kind and gentle, but she was cut from the same as him, and more than kind, she was beguiling. If it had been a different time, I might have said magic or spells, but I knew that it was just chemistry. Her molecules and mine, compounds. That's the only chemistry that I know. It was just a whisper, a secret thought that she pushed into my shoulder. I don't want to share you. And I turned and kissed her gently and told her to hush, because what else could I say? I thought it was over, that she'd settled, but It came again, that thought, in the darkness when I was alone, and when I wasn't. She brought it to the forefront of my mind. Wrong again. Oh, is one wrong worse than another? It didn't seem so. Surely it was no different than when we first started. Surely stolen kisses and misted up windows were not so innocent, so clean. It was she that made the plans. She knew her father better than I did, knew his weaknesses, his hiding places. She said, apples, pushed the words clean from her teeth. And I shook my head. Too easy to refuse. But she put her finger on my chin and smiled and said, he can't resist apples. She said it as if he were a horse that she were buying treats for, not her father. So she went out and she found the perfect apples. They were red and full, like lips are when they're just kissed. The needle broke their skin very gently, not even bruising it. They shone, those apples in the fruit bowl. And she and I curled on the couch and we waited. Apples, he said. And he shined one against the fluff of his sweater. We sat silently watching. And she curled her fingers around mine. Nearly mine, she whispered. You're nearly mine. I woke with him next to me, still and cold, but smiling. And she crept around the corner of the doorway, robe open, and she said, come to me. Her bedroom was new blood, fresh chances, and no more apples.